looks like Savi's Workshop over at Black Spire Outpost Hollywood Studios in Galaxy's Edge. Savi's Workshop will be reopening on September the 20th. This is a location that has been closed since the return of Disney Parks in Orlando, and a lot of people have been asking the question, well, why? And exactly what's going on. Originally, the thought process on this one was, well, it's very much a hands-on experience. It's very much a lot of touching things, and so perhaps that's why there was a delay. But if they're bringing it back now, maybe that wasn't the reason, because you would probably want to hold off on this until touching things wasn't a problem. But at any rate, it looks like it's going to be returning. Ready to spend some money and make a lightsaber, Katrina. Wanted to say Tyler at the same time.
I know. Well, he already has one, and it goes off randomly in our closet.
Oh, hold on a second.
Oh,
So there's a ceiling fan in my office, right?
Oh,
and when
my.
I'll put that thing on high recently, and then when it's like midnight, 1 a.m. or whatever, and I turn my ceiling fan off, and all of a sudden my lightsaber goes, like, it's really the most.
Your battery's dying.
But okay, but why does it happen when I turn the fan off?
That's weird.
Why does it happen since
mine
like,
would do that,
quarantine
too.
started, and then I'll like walk by and I hear this like random sound in the closet, and then I'll stop thinking it's like Jumanji calling me or something.
Yeah,
and
no,
I'm like,
it's the first time it happened, I was like, "Whoa, what was that?" Like, it
Maybe
was
it's
crazy.
The lightsaber calling you to play with it.
yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's
We
like,
have the
hey,
Force.
remember?
I was going to say,
And it's
no
like,
doubt,
we miss
the
you.
Force is making that noise.
But
Yeah.
anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Wah,
I
wah,
just
wah.
I
Anyway,
had to throw that out there. If anybody knows what the heck is going on, I mean, I know low battery, but like when I turn the fan off, that's freaking bizarre.
weird.
Anyway, all right.
is it worth it for children? I mean, I think so. If you've never been to Disney World and you're already spending all this money to like go to Galaxy's Edge and ride Smuggler's Run, I feel like the child deserves a lightsaber at that point.
The child.
The child.
The child, thank you
Obviously,
very
if you
much.
saw their little promo pictures, they're like promoting the child mask like no other. Anyway, but I think it's like a really great idea for them to build and stuff. Like, I mean, because like Galaxy's Edge, there's really nothing to do if you can't build a droid, you can't build a lightsaber. And then the bar, I think you could still go into, right?
Yep.
They've been letting people build droids, though, right?
Yeah, and you can
Yeah,
build the
Droid
droids.
Depot's been
Yeah.
open. See, that's the other thing that's very confusing about this is like, so why one and not the other?
See, I feel like
Yeah,
actually,
I think it's because it's more intimate. I feel like when you do
Sure.
the lightsaber, because you're around more people, and then you have them helping you if you have issues with your lightsaber,
yeah, I
and you all raise it
personally,
in the air and go wow.
I personally kind of feel like that the one that is actually more dangerous when in terms of like people touching things is actually the Droid Depot, because things come out on that little the little
Conveyor belt?
Yeah, thank you. And people pick up a piece and they go, oh no, not that piece,
But when
and then
it
they
goes
pick
back
it back,
around
and then
again, there's a little droid in the back that's probably sprays it off. You don't know what goes on in the back. There's like droids up
could
over
be
there
true,
working
could
hard.
be true. But see, I feel like when you go into Savi's, like you're kind of just touching your piece. I don't think you're touching like a bunch of things that other people have touched. Like at least maybe I'm just misremembering, but I feel like the Droid Depot has that capability more to be touching things that are contaminated. But
yeah, and I think they give you the pieces already. They're like, what do you want? And then you say, I want this one. And then they give you all the pieces, and then you like lay it out. And then I think when you get in there, they go, what color crystal do you want? We only have blue or red.
yeah. And everybody
All the other ones are
touches
sold out.
everybody touches the same screwdriver at Droid Depot and stuff. So I don't know. I think
they have to clean it afterwards. though.
Sure, well, yeah, but I'm just saying that like I don't know if the only reason that Savi's was closed was because of the contamination issues. Because if that was the case, then Droid Depot would have also been closed.
Maybe they're waiting for more parts to come from China.
That might be. Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, from the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge place where they make those things.
The factory in Batuu.
The scrap metal.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It very well could be. It's great to see Savi's is coming back online. We were getting questions about that, believe it or not. Why Savi's and not others?
That's weird.
What the heck's going on? Now we have our answer. It's coming back to us. So if you were looking to spend a fortune for a lightsaber, your opportunity is back. Congratulations to you. Moving right along here over elsewhere in Disney's Hollywood Studios, it does turn out that Voyage of the Little Mermaid, the show that you can go see right across from the Disney Junior attraction, this is something that has been on the docket for a long time. We've all thought to be either overhauled completely or be refurbished, perhaps replaced. It all depends on who you talk to, because it has been a show that's been around for a long time, and anytime we've referenced it, it's come down to, it seems like a show that should probably just scoot on out. It's been closed since the return of the park, mainly because of the performers union and the situation that was going on with performers coming back to Disney, and not until just recently did that even get resolved. And even with that, we haven't seen a lot of shows return yet. But Voyage of the Little Mermaid ended up having some billboards removed this past week. Everybody that was in the park was kind of referencing what the heck's going on top of that building, and they were noticing that billboards were being removed. They were also noticing that the studio store that's attached to the backside of the attraction experience, the stage show, if you will, was also closed and had the windows blacked out. It turns out that Disney has released a statement about this, saying it's just maintenance at this point. They're going in and refurbishing some things. I think it's very odd, Katrina, that this is a show that we think is long past its prime. There was a lot of rumors circulating that it wasn't going to return after all because of the situation that's going on. Now we see billboards being removed, and Disney felt compelled to say, "Oh no, we're just refurbishing some things."
Yeah, refurbishing, little air quotations here.
Right.
Like, next thing you know, they're gonna be like, "And we're gonna do this like little jig off to the side. Hope you guys forget," and then boom, it's gonna be Frozen.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Like a little Elsa thing or some kind of like Olaf talking. I mean, I would go for Olaf if he reenacted movies. That'd be hilarious.
I mean, they have their sing-along across the courtyard at Hollywood Studios. We don't need to move them into a secondary theater.
I feel like
my
if
gosh.
they could, they would.
They probably would.
But I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe they are refurbishing this horrible overdue thing. It's not even like an attraction.
I mean, I don't hate the show. I think there's a lot of cool little effects in it that they do with like the black lights and they have like the cool Ursula puppet and stuff like that. I think you're right. It's just kind of long in the tooth a little bit. But the thing is like, especially at this point, I feel like it needs to be there. So I'm glad that they're like bringing it back, because there's like two things to do at Hollywood Studios, and
few.
like half of that park is supposed to be shows, and the shows eat people up, and Little Mermaid is one of the best at eating people up because they can turn that show around so quickly. So I am happy it's coming back. I think it's probably needed. I just, down the road, it would be nice if they did have something in store for it. But that's, seems like at this point, there's a lot of things are getting canceled. There's things being pushed back.
Right.
I can't imagine anything is going to happen soon with Little Mermaid besides it just coming back and being the same it was. So.
Why would they get rid of the billboard signs if it's coming back? They're just gonna make new billboard signs for it.
Yeah, if the hesitation was that,
Like,
it's
sounds
closed.
so strange. Like,
right. If it's closed and we just want to remove the signage for the sake of it attracting people, why wasn't that done a long time ago?
yeah, like you just, I mean, during quarantine, you guys could have made these new signs or whatever and like slowly just take them off and then spend extra money instead of just like waiting until it just, goes to poo or something. I don't know. It's just very strange how they were like, oh, let's just take off these billboard signs. This thing isn't here. Maybe they're just like helping the cast members out and saying like, let's just take off these things. If no one knows what is here, then they're not going to ask questions being like, can we go in there? What is this Voyage of the Little Mermaid thing?
I think that's what it is. I think it's kind of confusing because like, unlike Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular or whatever, you can tell what that is by the name, but Voyage of the Little Mermaid almost sounds like it could be a ride or something like that.
Sounds like a good
And I
ride.
could see people coming in and being like, oh, is this closed too? Like, and just like being kind of upset or asking questions. And, it's if they've kind of decided through operations that this is a question that is being asked too often, maybe that's why they finally decided to do it. I don't know.
They did plop a cast member directly in front of the attraction that was there during my recent trip, who was fielding those questions and just saying, yeah, not open today,
Yeah.
maybe at some point in the future. Kurt, this was an attraction where, you were rained on, right?
Yes, yeah. So I tried to escape a tropical storm that was coming through at the time.
Yeah.
And we went and sat in on the Voyage of the Little Mermaid, and right above us was a pipe that was leaking the whole entire time. So it kind of defeated the whole purpose of trying to get out of the rain when
Well,
we were rained on.
What'd you expect? You were under the sea.
You know what?
What happens, bruh?
I should understand
Leaky
that
pipes.
we are in the sea and you are going to get wet. I didn't realize it was a
that's,
ride that you could potentially get wet.
It's a
But
show,
it is.
Kurt.
Yes.
Yeah, nice try. think you
Oh,
know.
is this a show?
It's a show.
Wow,
That leaky
see?
pipe
eye
was
on
so
that.
leaky.
Yeah.
He didn't even know.
I felt the water coming at me. It was like Splash Mountain.
Sounds like it was a ride of emotions, at least.
You went through a lot. You went through a lot, it sounds like. And I definitely think that this experience, I mean, if it was already raining on poor Kurt from a leaky pipe, perhaps this really is just a refurbishment and nothing more. It feels rather fishy that signs are being removed, studio stores being blocked out on the exit side. We will see what happens when it comes to this Voyage of the Little Mermaid experience, but I know a lot of people probably wouldn't be too hurt if it was replaced with something else. However, Tyler makes a great point when it comes down to it. They do need some extra shows on tap to rake some people in, especially right now that Hollywood Studios has so few things to do, and really all the crowds are concentrated in just 2 lands in that park. At any rate, we will see what happens in the near future. Jumping on over to Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, Narcoossee's, the waterfront restaurant at the resort, is set to reopen with the rest of the resort on the 21st of September. The restaurant is closed at this time, to guess, at the resort, mainly because the resort is clearing out from hosting various NBA players, as the resort had kind of become all things NBA player, NBA staff, NBA crew, taking care of them in the bubble that was existing there for a while. This is a flagship resort for Walt Disney World. It's one of those resorts you can see from Magic Kingdom. And I know Narcoossee's is an upscale dining restaurant that I myself haven't dined at. Tyler, Katrina, have you ever been there?
We have
We've
not.
never been.
We've always kind of had it on the
we
docket,
always
but
say
it's
like,
just,
let's
yeah.
try it, and then we just find other plans, or maybe like people that we're with, they just don't want to go, and then we find something else that we all agree upon.
Yeah.
And then we just do that.
I think that's the only restaurant we haven't eaten at Grand Floridian, actually. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Have you done Victoria and Albert?
We
We
did,
have.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it
we
was
gotta,
very long.
it was a very long
But it was really
experience.
good.
you get your money's worth, right?
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
the-
you do?
Yeah.
Well,
We
yes
have
and
our-
no.
we have our
It's very
opinions.
expensive. It's super expensive. Like
Now it's even more expensive because they jacked the prices up by $100.
It's like it's a very special thing that I
yeah.
will not be doing anytime soon again. But it was really cool. You'll get a lot of things that you've never had before. And I one of the things that made me the happiest and her the happiest too, I'm sure,
Tears
was
of joy.
they had, most places you go, it's like, oh, here's a microwaved roll for the gluten, for like the gluten allergy stuff. Here's like a microwave gluten-free roll, Over there, they brought her like 4 different kinds of bread. Like
It was like 3.
Wow.
it was like 3, but
and it was like after or during like certain courses, and then they give you different. Everybody gets like different breads every course. You never get the same one, which is great. And then for me, I was expecting it's the same old steamed roll, and then
Yeah.
they come out with this one. I was like, I've never seen this before, and they're like, just you wait, there's 2 different other kinds. I'm like,
Oh.
and then they gave me, it was so great. That was like the best part. And then there's a lot of it's a beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you give a lot of time. I think we were there for 4 hours.
Yeah, it was a long
But
time.
there's a lot of upcharges that you get kind of like sucked into. So you have your like menu, but then there's other things that they recommend that you can add on to your menu. And then so when you're there, you're like, you know what? Why not? Why not?
Keep
Let's
adding.
just do the
Yeah.
like Wagyu beef, or let's just upgrade to this, and
Already
let's have
spending
some
a
truffle
fortune.
shavings. Let's just do it. And then next thing you know, it's like, well, that bill.
Yeah, it was not fun. It was not a pretty piece of paper to look
You
at.
better lick that plate with
when
truffle shavings.
When you say expensive, like how expensive? Like really? Like
About $1,000.
whoa, oh,
yeah, it was a lot.
That expensive.
That was with the upcharges too.
That was for 2 people.
I think.
Yeah.
It was
That-
with
I,
Two
we did a
people.
couple upcharges. Yeah, I had truffle, I had Wagyu beef.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a very roundabout way of saying, no, we've never been to Narcoossee's.
Yeah.
We need to go more in depth as to your Victoria and Albert's experience.
Oh, yeah.
It is the,
We'll tell you everything.
The crown jewel of Florida, as a matter of fact, not
Mm-hmm.
just Walt Disney World. So it's one of those restaurants that is highly rated and is one of those places that books out long in advance because it is such a unique experience. But Narcoossee's coming back and looking forward to having another dining option on tap when the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa officially reopens without the NBA around.
Yeah. Get out of here. Go
Yeah.
home. Open my hotel.
Those tall boys.
Yeah.
Those tall boys.
Yeah, get out of here
With your own
your
private barber
basketballs.
shop.
My goodness. In other news, over at the Magic Kingdom, turns out Disney has identified a few more options when it comes to Halloween coming to Walt Disney World. And As we've mentioned in prior broadcasts, obviously Halloween is not going to be what it used to be. No parties are coming your way, and definitely things are being scaled back from an entertainment standpoint. But throughout the day, it sounds like Halloween cavalcades will be arriving along the parade route coming down Main Street, USA, where characters will be decked out in their Halloween best. And on top of that, we are going to see Gaston, Maleficent, Queen of Hearts, Jafar, as well as the Pumpkin King himself, Mr. Jack Skellington. And don't forget, the Dapper Dans will be returning in their alter ego state as the Kadiver Dans. Katrina, you look pumped.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, again, they take away certain things, but they try to bring back a little life into Halloween spirit. So, and then it's for people that maybe you've never been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and you've never really seen them in their outfits or whatever, or have seen the Cadaver Dans or anything like that. This is your moment. You've already paid for your park admission to go to Magic Kingdom, so now you get to kind of see a little bit of it. Sad that they're not going to have the Headless Horseman, but I'm still happy with this. Like, they're going to have Mickey in his cool little Halloween costume and everybody kind of coming around, and I'm sure like they're going to have the stepsisters there screaming at people, you know, as they go by. Who knows?
Doing their shouting.
Yeah, doing their shouting, looking for a man, you know, trying to find a husband.
Put a ring
Get a
on
ring
it!
on it. Yeah, there you go.
They're doing their best with what
Yeah.
they can do in the budget, and then trying to give people the Halloween spirit, the Christmas spirit. I'm okay with it. I know a lot of people really love the candlelight processional. That's like a huge thing for a lot of people, so I'm really sorry about that. But this year has been like kind of a wah
Yeah.
year, so I'm
What?
okay with what
You don't
they
say.
wah.
Has it been?
Yeah. So, I'm okay with giving me a little bit of Christmas. Just give me like a little splash, and I'm okay with it.
Well, along with Christmas comes some Halloween cheer, even if it is modified, even if it is a little bit unique. I know that I'm looking forward to seeing at least a little bit of that Pumpkin King, a little bit of Jack Skellington coming our way, even if it is just as a flyby. It'll be cool to have some of those iconic characters that just evoke everything Halloween back in the Magic Kingdom, even if it is for a limited run. The worst. The worst.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.